What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Music Quest. And I have some very, very special guests. Got two strong black brothers next to me.
My name is DZ Brown.
And my name is Jake Lloyd.
Together we're called Ghetto Gala.
Yes, sir. How did y'all form this duo? Because nowadays it's so hard to find a rap duo. You know what I mean? Like, how did y'all form this group?
I was at a show checking out someone else, actually. But then he was sound checking as I was leaving, and I was interested in working with him. And so I reached out after that, and we worked on some music over the years. And then after COVID, I think we just decided to bring the unity together and kind of like join forces. So yeah, it's been a cool element to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, we were working on music in, I think, like 2019. And then, you record enough songs as creatives. Our brain is like, we got to put a name on this. You know what I mean? Like, let's call this something. Let's run with this. So we did that. And, the rest is, we didn't expect it to take legs and move like it's been doing. But, DZ Brown is a fairly established solo act, and Jake Lloyd was a solo act as well. And so, we thought two heads is better than one in most cases, and it's been working out.
Before I move on, where are you guys from?
Yeah, I'm actually from Bastrop, Texas, right up the way.
I'm from Austin, by way of Round Rock.
Can you describe what kind of music you guys make?
To me, it's the word I use is fusion. They used that a lot in the 70s when they were mixing like the funk and rock and soul, and couldn't describe what those artists were doing. So I think a lot of the stuff we're doing is like rap and R&B and a little bit of rock, but it's all fused together to kind of create what we're doing.
Yeah, I think obviously it's rap. That's the main genre, but there's pieces of R&B and funk and some other stuff. So Southern rap is definitely our main I think moniker that we would go under. But we're experimenting with different sounds and trying to get back to what hip-hop duos and acts look like. You know what I mean?
So can you tell me about your major and biggest influences musically growing up? Who were your major influences?
So he was putting me on the the Motown, R&B. Obviously we grew up in the 90s, so the 90s R&B was a big hit for us. And then as I got older, I started finding my own Lil Wayne and Hot Boys and Nelly and obviously Outkast and Clips and all of our favorite rap duos. But we're all about the same age, so the 2000s rap and underground Texas music. So it was a fusion, really a fusion of different sounds. And mom was playing one thing, dad was playing something else, so it was just a collective.
I mean, I hate to piggyback kind of on what you were doing. Of course, for me, it was a lot of. My dad was in high school in the 80s, so it was a little bit of a different vibe in my crib. But I was attached to a lot of Outkast and a lot of things that Andre 3000 was doing as he was pushing boundaries with his music and the way he looked and his presence. That was kind of helping me maneuver as a creative. So yeah, it was a lot of that. And like Jake said, mom was playing one thing. Mom was playing a bunch of R&B, which was Mary J. Blige and things like that. And I was getting to learn rap with dad. So
yeah, for sure. I think y'all bringing it back with these duos though, because a lot of people, they on this wave where it's solo, but it's something about a duo. It's something about having a partner with you or even a group that just makes it sound 10 times better.
So I know the first show was, I think it was our album. No, I think it was the Far Out Lounge when we had the record release, the EP release. As Ghetto Gala, our very first show was at the Far Out Lounge. Now, don't ask me the date, but I know it was around 2021. Now, session, oof, that's tough. The first session, I don't know if I remember. It was in 2019. It was in 2019, right before COVID. But for sure, the first show was 2021 at the Far Out Lounge.
So can you guys tell me, when was the moment that you guys realized that you wanted to pursue music full time? Because, some people do it as a hobby or do it as a, just kind of here and there. But what was the moment that you guys were like, oh no, I'm going to pursue music full time and, start, posting music on my social media platforms and on my streaming platforms? So what was that moment?
For me, growing up, the only two things I ever really cared about were sports and music. Football, and if I wasn't going to play football, I was going to be a musician. And so Of course, as a kid, that was the only thing I ever really wanted to do. But when I started taking it seriously, is I would say 2010. I came back from college and I met Danny, the producer, DS2, who's downstairs. And when we got together, I think that's when I knew in 2010 I had a solid place to record. I had a producer. I had the tangibles to actually pursue it for real. So I would say for me around, of course I wanted to do it ever since I was little, but when I started taking it for real serious, I'd say around 2010.
Nice. Dang, you ain't no spring chicken, bruh. 15 years deep. 2020.
I think mine was a bit earlier. I got introduced to music through a family member, and so I was able to start recording music at the age of 15. This was back in 2005 when I did my first show on Decker Lane over there. So it was a little bit earlier, but I think just really pursuing it to where I wanted to make money off of it and just that. And I think it was just walking around and understanding that there was nothing at that school that I wanted to do.
I think a little bit of all of that. So we are actually doing ACL this year. So.
Oh, really? Man, let me give y'all a hand clap, man. That's what's up. ACL, yes sir.
So that's a huge look. Excited about that. DZ and I have been working on some designs for some merch and getting the internet presence, getting the website and all that stuff get up and running. So that's why I say a little bit of everything. Also recording. We don't never stop recording. So he's a producer. I'm a wannabe producer, and so we're always working on new music. So just a little bit of everything. But I think the main focus is trying to record. You don't have nothing without the music. So
absolutely.
I say the same. I think there's a lot going on too with AI, and so we're trying to figure out how to creatively move around it and exist within it as well. So that's been a challenge for us to release and do things in the creative form that we're used to doing. But other than that, like Jake said, a bunch of merch, a bunch of different music, and a bunch of recording is kind of what we're looking forward to.
So, you young black brothers, what advice would you give anybody that's out there trying to achieve their goals, dreams, aspirations, whether they're trying to be a rapper, a singer, content creator? What advice would you give them?
I think for me is just be ready to hear no.
No, that's real though. That's really real.
You got to be ready to hear no. It don't even always necessarily mean it's you. People they don't know you, and people are leery of things that they don't know. So one, I think I would say be ready to hear no and just don't stop, because I know you always hear we've heard Nipsey and people say the only difference between me and you is I just didn't quit. I'm no better of a musician. I'm no better.
I would say save your money. I think
That's a good one too, y'all. Y'all hear it.
A lot of the stuff we see are from mainstream artists with record labels paying for the things that they're wearing and the gleam and the glam. And so we're thinking we can go to the mall and spend the same thing on that. And so, yeah, save your money and spend that on things like artwork, or spend that on things like studio time, or whatever the case may be, to kind of get your craft to going to push forward. And then I think secondly too, to kind of piggyback on what Jake said slightly, is to me, I would say just to learn how to move around other people's energy. And in this business, there's going to be some highs, there's going to be some lows, there's going to be some no's, there's going to be a lot of different things. But learn who you are, and just learn how to slightly maneuver around things, and you won't be so much chaos, and you'll exist a little bit longer out here.
So Ghetto Gala, at Ghetto Gala, pretty much everywhere. GETOGALA on Instagram. We're not on Twitter, but we're on Instagram and Spotify. So Ghetto Gala on everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he said. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I'll link their at names in the description box, so you will have it right there in plain sight. So thank you guys for tuning in into another episode of the Music Quest, and I'll see you guys later.